Welcome back to the A+U podcast. I am your host, Danielle.
And I'm your co-host, Amber.
Well, our guest today is Samantha, or do you want to be called Sam?
Either or.
Okay. I don't know how to say either of your last names.
Perfect. So I'm Samantha Prudhon Falkowski, Sam for short. I'm the video banking manager at Affinity Plus, and I'm a certified financial coach.
See, so much better when they do their own intros.
Can't screw it up. I learned I was saying someone's last name wrong for 3 years after they said it.
But welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Well, today, if you can believe it or not, we're talking about something that comes around faster than a Minnesota snowstorm.
You're so clever, Danielle.
Well, I was thinking about it. And obviously we have to record this a little bit in advance, but I was like, in this next week between recording and airing, it could have already snowed.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean,
in Duluth? Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
There could be snow at any point. Welcome to Minnesota.
So when we think holiday readiness and we're thinking about just even getting ready for the holidays, kind of what's the first thing you would recommend, Sam?
Sure. So I would say start thinking about what have your past holidays looked like. Are they going to look the same this year, or are they going to look different? So kind of just setting that big picture of, are you traveling? How many people are you buying gifts for? Any big changes to the holiday, and how do you need to account for that?
Okay. So just taking a holistic look, basically.
Absolutely. Okay.
So one thing that I do is I start shopping basically after the last holiday. If we're talking about January, I probably start shopping in March, April.
Oh, wow. You are an early shopper.
But I don't. So this is where Sam has a really good point, because I don't necessarily plan it out, which I should. Let's be honest, I should. But for example, Prime Day, I bought gifts on Prime Day. So I'm spreading it out a little bit. And I just keep it all, I keep a list, because if I don't keep a list, then I end up way overspending. But I have Christmas presents for my kids already. Not all of them.
I think that's a good way to do it. And I think as long as you're setting a budget for Prime Day, that's the kicker. Because otherwise, it's easy to add things to your cart. Right, Sam?
Absolutely. Very easy to add things to your cart. And I think the hardest part about as you get closer to the holiday, first and foremost, the inventory is going to be reduced and prices are probably going to be higher. So both of those things would mean you're probably picking something that you didn't really want and you're going to overpay for it. I know for me, planning in advance really helps, because Legos are the thing that kids want and they are expensive. So for me, I've literally been watching Marketplace all year looking for Legos, because if I can get a set, even if it's missing a piece, I can order a single piece. But then I'm spending...
I didn't even know that.
I know that.
I'm spending a reduced amount of money on something that is still in really good condition that my kids are going to love.
So if you're saying plan in advance, because we're both saying if you find a Lego set in March, or Prime Day is in June, I think. Are you should we be planning basically in January for the next holiday season? Would you say?
I think it's fair. I think the most time that you can give yourself to be prepared for the holiday, the better. I think a big thing is asking yourself, does it make sense for us to buy gifts for certain people? I know for me with my extended family, we don't buy gifts for everybody. We bring a $10 gift and we play games and there's an exchange, right? So already up front, I know that at my in-laws, it's $10, right? So it's not, oh my gosh, last minute, I need to cover my mother-in-law. I need to cover nieces and nephews. I need to cover all of these people that I didn't have on my list initially. So really setting that expectation of again, what do your holidays look like are going to help you be prepared for them.
I didn't even think about it that way, but we do the same thing, but putting it in that context changes it a little bit for me.
Well, and I agree. And I think as long as you're able to set aside funds at least every paycheck or every month, just so you kind of know and can prepare for those things, it helps. Because while I am an impulse shopper and I love doing that, I do budget for it. And I know roughly what I'm spending on each of the people that I'm looking to buy for. But to your point, Sam, Legos are expensive. And there are lots of non-children who love Legos.
Those flower sets get me every time.
Well, might be the Star Wars sets in my house, but details and such, right?
You or your husband?
Definitely my husband.
I agree though. I bought my mom a Lego set last Christmas. Like the poinsettia one.
See? Legos.
I know.
And
Who
the
knew?
flowers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we have a number of products that could help in this area too. So whether that's a regular savings account, or if you say opened a WINcentive account in October, that would mean your annual draw would be the following October. So if you're putting funds in there every year, you'd be able to draw them in October, and then you would have funds available, right? So a little bit at a time. So you're not getting to that, do we need to buy a 20-pound turkey? And now it's going to cost $100 extra that we didn't plan for. So there are different ways and different products that we can kind of weave into this to help with planning.
That's super smart. And that's what Morgan said. Morgan was here talking on our student kind of episode, but he kind of mentioned that WINcentive, him and his wife do it in October, just like you said. And I was like, wow, never thought of that. So smart. So smart. But I learned this from Amber. Little Amber plug.
Oh, it wasn't something I learned on the podcast. I taught it.
I have a holiday. It's literally labeled holiday savings account. And every paycheck, like I put a little bit of money in there because then I can just withdraw that account. I know what my budget is. And I can just, if I haven't already bought things, I can just apply that for the holiday season, and or I don't have to use it all. I guess I can save some of it.
I love naming accounts and changing the names.
How many accounts do you have, Amber?
It's better if we don't talk about the 12 savings accounts I have.
It's okay. You haven't met the member max of, I think.
Oh, yes. I think didn't he make it to 99?
I believe
he
so.
capped out.
We have a member with 99 accounts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sub accounts.
Wow.
A couple dollars at a time into each, from like kids' birthday gifts to yard work to, I mean, if you
Does he have a card for every single account?
No.
Their savings account.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're going to organize your money, like, where that you want to talk about organizing, that is hyper organized.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'll be that cool.
Comprehensive budgeting.
But I also think, like, okay, if we're talking about gifts or we're talking about things that make an impact, right? When you're looking at that holistic picture, you mentioned, gifts. That's always a big one. You mentioned meals, but then there's stuff like travel. There's stuff like holiday outfits. Some people buy like a holiday card wardrobe, or they dress up for the holidays. I like to wear my pajamas, but that's what my family does,
Matching pajamas are all the rage.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do that. We do the matching pajamas. But, there's like all these little expenses that I think people don't necessarily, and even myself, like group into that like holiday expense.
Right?
Right?
Talk about wrapping paper. I mean, my God, I feel like I could spend $50 on wrapping paper.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you buy it the day after the holiday ends.
See?
Hot tip.
Uh-huh.
I may or may not have like 50 rolls of wrapping paper.
I will, yes, but my butt to that is my very favorite wrapping paper is this like really thick paper from Target. And it's gone. Like, so when it gets in the store, I buy like 6 rolls.
Sam's Club.
Oh.
Day after the holiday ends. Comes in like 500-yard lengths. They're very heavy.
So you have enough wrapping paper for all of us.
Yes.
Okay.
And like also wrap early, because there's nothing worse than wrapping on Christmas Eve and running out.
Oh, I feel like you're saying that from experience.
Oh, I am. Had to get very creative with, I'm like, if you have children, this is where you turn this off. I'm Santa.
Yeah.
I'm wrapping.
Yeah.
It is 11 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve. I run out of wrapping paper.
Oh, no.
Hot tip.
My heart just started beating faster for you.
If you have Elf on a Shelf, I literally started ripping my wrapping paper into pieces and put the elves on top of the gifts so it looked like they started opening the gifts in advance. But again,
That is some genius parenting right there.
but again with the planning, right? Like,
But like you said, okay, so wrapping paper, like cookies. That's a whole, like, you know,
Baking.
like baking. People like to do holiday baking. That is like $50 worth of supplies. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not
Or
very
more.
good at it.
can we talk about mixed nuts? If
Yeah.
you put nuts in your baked goods, like,
Yeah. So
I'm like, you and Fleet Farm are probably like this, but it's still not cheap.
yeah. So, I mean, there's just so much to kind of like think about. And there's so much to kind of consider when you're looking at this holistic holiday budget.
Well, and I think that's where it's really, like, if I had to think about what you're saying, Sam, is just planning ahead. Like, plan early, plan often. Because with that, you can look for deals. Because if it is the mixed nuts that you want to make into, like, your cookies or banana bread, whatever it may be, if it's on sale in September and it has a good shelf life where you can hold over until when you're ready to use it, buying it early because you plan for it. You already know in December, I want these awesome, I don't even know,
Peanut brittle.
peanut brittle. What? Where did that come with walnuts?
Oh, sorry. I missed the
And
walnuts.
mixed
I thought
nuts.
I didn't.
Like mixed nuts is like walnuts and almonds to me, not peanut brittle.
I mean, my grandma used to make turtles, right? Like a bunch of
See?
nuts covered in chocolate. They sat
Done.
out
I'm going to Sam's
in the
house.
garage to cool and to
Yeah.
firm up. Like now as an adult, I'm like, how much money was my grandma spending to make those things?
Uh-huh.
Depends on if she bought them in the shell or out of the shell.
So
Amber
many
coming in
questions.
hot with like the.
So many questions.
Grandma, were you prepping these like a month in advance?
But okay, so even then, so one of the things I think we always see every holiday season is like, you don't have to buy gifts. You can make a homemade gift. And I mean, I feel like that sentiment gets a little like old in terms of like, you know, I'm going to make cookies. And you're like, no, I want to do something cool. But there are ways to spread the love if that's like your thing, if you're a gift giver or want to give gifts. Like I have an entire recipe book that's like jars with like the brownie batter in it. Right?
Oh, cool.
Or like the cookie batter in the jar. So you don't have to necessarily like make a homemade card, or I mean, you can absolutely do that. But if you're kind of tired of those like traditional like homemade gifts to save money, there are other kind of like cool,
Can
easy
make soap, bath bombs.
Yeah, like there's all kinds of like cool stuff if you have time to do your research.
Yeah.
Then you
And if
can-
it's a fun hobby, like maybe sculpting clay. Huh, Sam?
I mean, clay. Actually, one thing that I did this last year, again, just got to throw it back to my grandma. Growing up, she always made homemade choke cherry jelly, and it's not something that you can find widely.
Mhm.
And so we moved, planted a couple choke cherry bushes, and I tried my hand at jelly. Did the first round go over super well? Absolutely not. The consistency was a little strange. But it's the thought that counts, right? Like for me and my family, I did something that pulled on tradition, and it was a gift that I knew that would be widely appreciated. So I think if we take a minute to kind of go back to think about like, is there a time where you received a gift that was really meaningful? What was it, and why did it mean so much to you? I think it's a great place to start if we're going to talk about like unconventional gift giving.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing that I've heard a lot, like just kind of like seems to be like a hot topic too, is that whole thought of experiences over gifts. So like, for instance, we gave our kids the choice this year of, do you want a traditional, like lots of gifts and do like the traditional Christmas, or do you want to get a couple meaningful things and we'll go on a family vacation? Like,
What'd they pick?
the vacation, because they're smart.
They are.
So,
Well, and I think right now we're kind of in a time where, I don't know about you, but in my household, if we need something throughout the year, usually we're buying it. Like kids grow out of stuff. Things get worn out. We're constantly kind of, like replacing shoes because they grew or like fixing something or things of that nature. So by the time we get to Christmas, I don't want to sit and be like, well, what can we put under the tree?
Right.
That doesn't work for me. I don't remember where I read it. But it's been a couple years now that I've been working towards this when I'm thinking about gift giving in my family. It's something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And so I already know 4 gifts under the tree, right? So I'm like, every year my kids get socks in their stocking. So something they can wear, right? Like reading is big in my house. I've been a lifetime reader, like lifelong reader. And right, like something to get your brain going. And then we go into want and need, right? So do you want, let's be real, video games, Legos.
Yeah.
I'm like bringing it all the way back to Legos.
Always comes full circle
Right?
on the Legos.
Do you want something you want? Legos. Something you need. Maybe you need a new pair of shoes. Maybe I will spend a little more on the new pair of shoes because it's coming at Christmas time.
Sure.
So I think, again, right? Planning. Going through this often. I think one thing we haven't touched on when it comes to planning is if you're looking at your holidays last year, is there anything you want to change for the coming year? Right? So if you don't have funds in the budget for a big meal, my household does appetizers.
Right.
It's really low key. It's really a comfortable setting. And then people are able to graze at their will. And it's not a formal gathering. It's not a formal sit down. We're kind of like beyond that in my family space where like we just want to be with each other and be in the same room together. And the prep, the cost, the time and energy that goes into big meals for us at this point isn't something we want to spend our time on.
Right. Well, and I think that's a good point too, is when you're thinking about that, you don't have to do it all, right? So, people are like, I don't want to burden people with like a potluck. Okay, well then think of it this way, like change the narrative a little bit. Change it to, I came over to your house and you made that amazing dip. Like, could you bring that for Christmas Eve so everybody can try it? Right? Or whatever your holiday is or whatever your celebration is. Like me and my girlfriends do a whole like gift exchange at Christmas time. It's a favorite things party. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes.
They're so fun. If you've never done it, highly recommend. We like have a blast.
Share what it is.
So if the 3 of us were doing it, each person would bring 2 gifts. And it's like your favorite thing. So is your favorite thing this water bottle that you can't live without? Is it a hair product that you've become obsessed with? Whatever your favorite thing is. So you bring 2 items and usually you set a budget and everything like that. And then when you come to the party, we've done it a couple different ways, but you can either like draw tickets or draw numbers to see who picks like off the table, or we kind of like snake draft it kind of a thing. And so when you're up, you get to pick something off the table. So you bring 2 gifts, but you leave with 2 gifts.
Okay.
And it's your friend's favorite thing. So maybe you're discovering something you might not have discovered, like a kitchen gadget, or somebody brought an Ember mug one year.
Ooh.
Yeah, the bomb if you've never tried one of
I'm
those.
like, I know, I've seen these.
So I don't know. Just a quick, they're super, super fun. And if you can plan for it and budget for it, like highly recommend because we have a blast.
Well, and I think it takes the pressure off too of like an activity for like a holiday event and price. Because like it goes back to setting that budget, but it also gives you an activity of enjoying the time together that is part of the holiday season. It doesn't have to be surrounding food or anything like that. It can just be a fun game. And maybe it's doing a giant puzzle. Who knows? But there's so many ways to bring people together and not having to spend money in order to do it, or a lot of money.
I don't know about you guys. My love language is quality time.
Oh, I was going to say time. Oh, Danielle, we spend a lot of time together.
I know, but that's my love language. So that's why the holidays are super like special for me, because like I truly like, I just want to like carve out time to spend together.
Yeah, I love that too. I like to like sit and watch and like just be like, everybody's here. This is a good day. And like seeing everybody happy. It's like, cool. This is a core memory lock.
Okay, so let's just say, Sam, that okay, we weren't able to plan like we had hoped for the holidays, and maybe it didn't go quite the way we wanted it to financially. So what can you do if it doesn't go quite the way you had hoped? Like, what are some tools or what are some ways you can kind of recover from that?
Sure. So in the event, right, you overspend or you come up with, an unexpected expense, things that you could do, right? We have a product called a holiday loan that you could then pay off over, a handful of months. That would help. Otherwise, too, if you don't want to take on additional lending, or if you want to just talk through how to fit that into your budget, have a conversation with a financial coach, and we'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through, like, hey, if you set aside $50 every month, that'll get you caught up and it'll give you a little bit for next year. I think not being hard on yourself if you overspend is also really important, because life happens and there's no judgment in that.
Okay. Well, anything we missed on this fun hot tip holiday episode? We love a good theme around here.
Buying Legos.
Here's your hot tip. If you come away with anything, it's watch for Legos throughout the year.
Watch for Legos throughout the year. Just kidding.
I would say really it's about what brings you joy and what can you afford.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Like, what brings me joy is going to be different than what each of you, really what you should be doing during the holidays is doing things that bring you joy, but also doing things that you can afford. So really going back to, what do you find value in? If you find value in spending time with people, if you find value in, that acts of service and like cooking the meal and feeding your family, do that. Do the things that you find value in.
Kind of like bringing it all back to Tony.
Good advice from another financial coach in doing what is representative of your values, and recognizing that your values of quality time could be different than mine of gift giving, versus maybe Sam, yours is the acts of service and just getting everyone together and providing a home to come and gather in. So there's a lot to do with the holidays. It doesn't really matter how you spend it.
I think that's the perfect little bow. So
nudge, nudge.
Pun
intended.
Putting the bow on the holidays.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of A+U. Be sure to check out Affinity Plus on our website, affinityplus.org, and listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll catch you on the next episode of A+U. Affinity Plus is federally insured by the NCUA.